Brodes Media.
You never know what they're going to do. You never know how the night's going to end. Holy hell. All right. We will talk about this incredible win. Thank you, Kyle Schwarber. Before we do, though, if you're new to the channel, hello. We talk about Philly sports every day here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button. And you can also take me on the road with you. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you leave a 5-star rating and a review after searching Sports Talk with Brodes, of course, that will truly help out big time with the algorithm. So thank you all. Seriously, you're the best in the world. I love you to death, and enjoy the show.
Swinging a fly ball deep to left field. Going back is Stowers. Back to the wall. Gone! Grand slam! Kyle Schwarber, the 7th of his career, and the Phillies take the lead.
I got the damn chills. I got the chills. Wow. Did Kyle Schwarber just save the season? We'll find out. This one game isn't going to tell me what I need. But damn it, does it feel good. They were down 3-0 with Tyler Phillips to start the game. As soon as they started to crack back into it, make it a one-run ball game again, the Marlins score a couple of runs, and now it's a 3-run deficit again. Rojas is throwing the ball to third base, which is allowing a runner to advance, playing stupid baseball, dumb, stupid baseball. Until the leader of the clubhouse, Kyle Schwarber, walked up to the dish with bases loaded and decides to hit a nuke the other fucking way. Did you hear that, crowd? I haven't heard CBP pop like that since 1962. We desperately needed it. And the crazy part about it is the score was 6-5. But didn't the energy feel as if it was, I don't know, 100-5? Even with Ruiz in the game, cleaning up the Tyler Phillips traffic. It's a huge inning. Strom, Hoffman, after allowing a leadoff single, gets a couple of punchies. Alvarado working out of some traffic as well. And then Estevez, no sweat. Now, he was able to get some run support. They tacked on a lot of runs in the 7th. Hallelujah. And there were a lot of players that got multi-hit days. So what we need this to do is actually become what the team is. And not just be a random game that you win because, yeah, you'll beat the Marlins once in a blue moon. More than once in a blue moon. But you get my point. You finally win a game even when you're through a slump. They were 7-16, so they did win 7 games. Was this just one of the ones that you fall into with a dub because the Marlins are 30 games under 500? Or is Bryson Stott actually a player? Is Brandon Marsh actually someone who can make contact? His one at-bat today made me sick. Swing the bat! Even Crucky and McCarthy didn't even know what to say because they were so dumbfounded. He eventually strung together a couple of hits. I just hope they can actually reflect, get back to who they're supposed to be, and we can watch a fun performance the rest of the way. I cannot believe they won this game. They've been getting abused. They've been getting destroyed. And not only did they take the lead, but when they did, they didn't give it back. Especially with Ruiz and, picking his number. Saying, here's your time. We need you. And for the Marlins to strand runners, if they tied it up 6-6 within a second, oh, man. I'd have to listen to a bunch of people boo as loud as hell, which actually I would think would be great and needed. Who was that clown who was in the box and on the broadcast booth who won his stupid little thing and he constantly always wins? Trying to tell me that I can't go boo people? Trying to tell me what I have to do? Yo, Raj. I believe his name was Roger. Yo, Raj. Shut up. The team has been playing like piss. I'm going to let them know it. And when Kyle hits a grand slam, I'm going to let him know it too, that's beautiful. We may go streaking if I can't fall asleep tonight. You might turn on the news tomorrow. Crazy son of a bitch nude in South Jersey. Screaming Schwarber'S down Delsey Drive. What do you want me to do? That was fantastic. I lost my mind. Do you think, switching gears here from me running around nude, do you think there was a team meeting? I do. Rob pregame mentioned that what stays in the clubhouse stays with the clubhouse. So that's his policy, and he's not going to speak on it. John Foley of PHLY said it was taking a little bit of time for the fellas to get out onto the field, to get their pregame work in, and he alluded to potentially the guys meeting in the clubhouse. Nick Castellanos was asked about it, and he said, what? There was a meeting? I must have missed it. Now, to me, that sounds very sarcastic. Yeah, you guys did probably sit around and air some stuff out because you needed to. And that's why it was so clutch to win this game. Because if you lose the day of the meeting, there's not much recovery that happens, especially to a bad Marlins team. That means you flatlined. So for them to battle adversity, to go down a few runs a couple of times in this game and still have the response, and Kyle doing it is big too. For it to be Kyle. A lot of people contributed though. Rojas and his speed getting on base, as I alluded to with Marsh and Stock getting a couple hits. JT tacked on a couple hits of his own as well. Rob mixed up the lineup. More on that in a second. So a lot of the guys delivered. But for Kyle to have the wow factor moment, when we're looking for someone to make a loud statement, for someone to take over, for someone to be the voice of reason and then actually accomplish what you set yourself out to do, who is it? It's no surprise that it's Kyle, but it finally landed. All the sticking points of, I believe in us. Kyle is an extension of Rob. I get sick and tired when Rob does it. Kyle does the same damn thing. And for him to hit the grand salami, it's crazy. So to summarize a little bit, I do believe that they had the meeting, regardless of what Nick said. And maybe I missed something. Full transparency, was taking care of my daughter. I'm normally on the night shift, so I will feed her late night bottle. I will rock her to sleep. So I didn't catch too much of the pregame of Tom McCarthy and a crossover with Barkan and the fellas in the studio. So sometimes they will give you some more substance and follow up on some of the big stories that are heading into the game. And maybe there was more on that I just didn't see. Once the game started, and, the 3-0 thing. And think about the way that the Phillies climb back into this. It's first and third. You have a ground out into a double play. That scores a run, but now there's 2 outs, and it ruins any sort of what could have been a rally, right? You score the 1-run double play. They were just like randomly small, cracking back into the lead. Come on, I need more. I need more. I need a big swing. I need a big double. So I'm dealing with the weird ways of scoring. And then I'm also dealing with the Marlins having quick responses. And then I'm even dealing with, let's not forget, I haven't even gotten here yet. And this is how we'll transition into the lineup, because we got the new 2-hole hitter, Nicky Two Bags, taking the 2 title way too seriously, trying to go for going for second base on the double. Oh, my God, what are we doing? After the Schwarber, you're telling me this man takes second base like that? And the way that he tried to slide? Oh, Nick, my guy, Nick, what are we doing? Even that, though, did not kill the Phillies' momentum in this particular ball game. So it's important to note that they did face a lot of adversity and still did it. God, Nick, what are you doing? 2 things I want to throw your way before we go to the Anytime Hotline. Here's what I would have made the lineup. So my personal opinion, Rob didn't shake it up too much, although I do like the idea of Sosa being in over Trey. And now publicly, Rob Thompson made it seem like this was an off day for him. We just want to let him reset, work on his swing. It's not that serious, that type of thing. I wanted Rob to criticize Trey a little bit more publicly just because I want urgency to be kicked in. So I tweeted out the fact that I wanted Rob to say, Trey's benched for his bad defense yesterday and his unwillingness to run hard and try to beat out a ground ball. That doesn't sit right with me. We need the team to play right now with some gas, with some fire. We need more gasoline. They're running out of fuel, and what Trey did was unacceptable, and the team needs to know that. What's wrong with that? I got blasted on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry for being too mean. Oh, I can't hurt Trey's feelings. What I said was outrageous, and you'll lose him. Well, I don't have him now. I don't have him now. Lose him? He's lost himself at the plate. He's already been lost. Come on. You're telling me we have to tiptoe around these pros? That they can't handle a little roughness? Anyway, it doesn't hit the same way if Trey is just having an off day because he's not finding himself offensively enough right now. The only way I like it from Rob's standpoint is if that's just what he's telling us, and then behind the scenes, he does rip Trey, or he does let the team know that we have to kick it into gear. We're not BSing anymore. Enough is enough. And then he'll sell you a different image publicly just because he wants to keep that behind closed doors. And I did speak to some who are kind of close to the Phillies organization. Not kind of, they are. And they say Rob does have fire in him. And he's not the same person as he is with the press conferences. Sometimes that's all I can go off of, though. But I have heard whisper down the lane that he is someone who will snap. It might not be as much as some of us would like, but it is in there. And maybe this is an example, and I'm only speculating, of when the world thinks Trey's understanding that it's just a random day off to help him out. But reality is, they all know. Here's what I would have done with the lineup personally, though. It wasn't enough of a shakeup for my liking. I would have batted Bohm first, Bryce second, Nick third, Kyle fourth as my 4. And you know it pains me to take Kyle out of the leadoff spot. It's that much of a shakeup that I wanted. And I was thinking of leading Bryce off to make a statement, but I do like the idea of Bryce batting in front of Castellanos and Schwarber batting behind Castellanos, almost for protection, because as much as Nick does put together some stronger at-bats as of late and has been way more disciplined at the dish, I'm still not willing to go with more of a free pass of, it doesn't matter who's around you. I want the fear of Bryce and the fear of Kyle to maybe sandwich around and grab around Nick Castellanos a little because, well, he can always fall back into his bad ways rather quickly. And this will give me the best chance for the lefties to be broken up with the righties to be broken up. So that's why I elected to lead off Bohm. Obviously, we did not go with this lineup, but this is just my way of thinking prior to the win. I would have benched Trey Turner and had Edmundo Sosa bat fifth. I would have played Wilson in left field. JT would be batting seventh. Bryson Stott would have been batting eighth, and Rojas would have been batting ninth. That's what I would have ran with. I would have loved it, and we did get something different. It just wasn't as crazy as I thought. It's probably crazy to Rob, though. Rob's probably shaking uncontrollably, very uncomfortable, saying, this isn't the lineup I roll out every day. This isn't the lineup that we go with every day. I'm not feeling normal. Well, sliding Nick up to the 2-hole. I would have even thought about this. Swear to God, I thought about this in my truck today when I was driving around. I would have put all the names in a hat. All the names in a hat. I would have started picking. If it's a Sosa, Stubbs, Wilson, Cal Stevenson lineup, so be it. None of you deserve to be in there every day. The only person, and that's unfair to say, it's not the only person, but I do think throughout this stretch, there's been one guy to bring it every day more than anybody else, and it's Johan Rojas. Now, that's not to downplay Bohm, who keeps his streak alive, getting on base in over 30 games. Obviously, there is importance in that, and that does stand for something. So it's not as if this means everybody else stinks. I think Nick has been a lot stronger than everybody else lately, too. But Johan Rojas has brought the energy on a night-to-night basis where a lot of these cats have been sort of steady without any pulse. For whatever that's worth. For whatever that's worth. Let's just hope that this means something bigger. All right, with that, let's go to the Anytime Hotline.
I mean, holy crap, Brodes. I don't even know what this feeling is. Like, we won. I don't feel great. Still have some problems. Able to mask it against a pretty terrible Marlins team, but good Lord. I mean, at least we got it done. How about Schwarber, though? Huge. Couldn't have been bigger. Love your show, bros.
Well, thank you. Thank you for calling in. So, one game's not going to change me totally. It's not going to sway me insanely. Here's the thing. Sometimes when there is that spark that you're looking for, you can feel it in the moment. And the Kyle Grand Slam falls in that category of, it could be. I don't think we're faking it. I don't think we're just randomly deciding a random single in the 5th inning or a random double play getting out of a big jam in the 6th inning. We're not holding on to nonsense hoping that it could be what spirals us in a good way and we start picking up consistency. This was a loud grand slam, an important grand slam, and a big leader who did it. So there are times where you reflect back in a season and a home run of this magnitude does actually sharpen you up. So I get the optimistic side of that could be. This might go down in the Phillies yearbook as it. That's when everybody jumped back on board. That's when CBP found its identity again. That's when this fan base and this team became one again instead of a broken relationship. As Ross would say to Rachel, they were on a break. If you don't get that reference, I'm going to be very disappointed. Kyle Schwarber was the man. There's plenty of times where a home run of that caliber has the wow effect. At the same time, though, I've been broken recently. When you won that first game against Arizona after winning, it was 3 in a row, it was 2 in LA, and the first one in Arizona. I saw Kyle hit 7 runs batted in himself. He had 3 homers in one game. That's something that's huge. That's something that's loud. And then they started to get destroyed by Arizona again. I thought they'd have to start warming up Garrett Stubbs in this outing. So to play it down the middle, there's a follow-up on how I've already seen this team show up to the ballpark dead without any emotions after Kyle already lit a fire underneath their asshole. So which way is this going to fall? I still got plenty of issues too. Yo, the Tyler Phillips thing ain't working. The Taijuan Walker thing's not working. I'd imagine the Allard thing is going to fall off. And I don't know what we have in Ranger Suarez. They're being a little weird with this one. It's not hitting me well. I know Rob spoke on him a couple of days ago. I don't like where it's at just from a vibe standpoint. And right now, there's been a lot of vibes off with the Phillies. So that scares me. I'm concerned. But winning a game that Tyler Phillips starts, that also matters. You got to try and rally these things up and start letting them really stockpile. I put out a Twitter poll. We spoke about this on Coffee with Brodes. And if you're interested in Coffee with Brodes, we live stream 8 times a month here on YouTube. All you got to do is check out the memberships down below. Join the YouTube memberships here. You get access to Coffee with Brodes live streams and our Discord channel. Make sure you check out the link down below in the description for all the information. Thank you so much for that. But we talked about this during Coffee with Brodes. I want to shout out Zach. I'm pretty positive he was the one to mention this, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Prior to this win against the Marlins, there were 43 games left. The Phillies have to go 21-22 to reach 90 wins. Will they do it? And I put in parentheses, I'm not a big math guy, just in case I screwed up the math. But it's painfully hysterical that we are even debating this. With 1,000 votes, this thing is 50.1% yes, 49.9% no. That's as close as you can get. The fact that we're even pretending to debate on can they get 90 is such an embarrassment. So it just shows you how pathetic it's been. We were debating if they're going to get to 90. And I don't know. I hope to God they do. Let's go back to the phones.
Now, bros, that's what we like to see. A win like that, I don't care that the Marlins are 30 games under 500. When you're a team that's struggling and you get a performance like this, it makes you very happy as a fan. And I know those guys on that team, on the Phils right now, everybody's very happy about this win. But I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get overjoyed about it because they still got more to prove, okay? Because they could come out tomorrow against the Nationals and lose. So, but I just think it was a great team win today. Bullpen pitched great. I mean, what a job by Kyle Schwarber. I mean, if you think about it, he's been responsible. He was responsible for that win against the Dodgers in the last game of the series. And then he hits a grand slam tonight, a go-ahead grand slam down 3 runs to put us up 6-5. I mean, he has been by far, I think, our best player this year. And he has just been fantastic. I mean, he really has been. But a great team win. I like how Topper changed stuff with the lineup and, for all intents and purposes, bench Turner. And I just think it was a great team win. But we got to build on this shit, man. We got to build on it. Win 3 out of 4 against the Nats and keep it going. Come on. We got this.
Thank you for calling in. I don't know if I can say I love the Trey Turner benching if he didn't ream him behind the scenes. Because the point of benching Trey would be so everybody in the dugout can hear and understand that Rob's pissed off. I want feelings to be hurt because you play on an edge when Rob is not happy, when he's angry, when he's clearly showing frustration and not in a cool, calm, collected Rob Thompson way. I'm saying out of the ordinary. There's a nerve being hit. I want it to be known that what he did sucked and what he did was unacceptable. And you can't play lazy when your team is desperately looking for ways to get out of this slump. Bad defense, routine grounders, not hustling out of the box. Those details have to be cleaned up. Sorry, Trey does have to take the heat. I kept seeing that people were saying it's unfair. Why does Trey get all the blame for everybody somebody who's going through the down bads too. That's how it goes sometimes. Effort. You can control effort. You can control routine ground balls. When you get the wrong timing of it, so be it. Welcome to sports. Sometimes you have to take the fall for your brothers. That would be Trey in this hypothetical, in this circumstance. So I needed it to be loud. Loud. I don't think Rob said anything fascinating post-game. Mentioned that Schwarber seems the guy to always come up large with home runs. All right, how about this? We listen to Tom McCarthy. Why don't we listen to WIP? Here's Scott Fransky on the call of the Grand Slam.
Schwarber ahead in the count. It's 2 balls and a strike. As Edward Cabrera kicks and deals in the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, left field. Going back on it is Stowers at the wall. It's gone! And he has turned it around with one swing of the bat. Kyle Schwarber, a grand slam, and the Phillies now lead it 6-5. His 7th career grand slam, and Kyle Schwarber knows how to end an offer. My goodness.
If that doesn't jumpstart it, I don't know what will. Wow. How big is that?
Goosebumps again. I had goosebumps the first time around. Now goosebumps the second time around. It's incredible. Now, the last thing I'll mention about the call before we take one last one here is they have to respond with this and keep it going against the Nationals, okay? There's no 2-2 at home in a 4-game set against that team. It's 3-1 at the minimum. And it does start off well with the Phils, considering they got Zach Wheeler on the bump, facing Mitchell Parker, who's got a 3.83 ERA. If they fall flat on their face, I'm going to be so upset. So upset. Okay. Let's take a final call here.
Yo, Brodes. Hope you washed out that disgusting shutout yesterday with the little offense today, especially Kyle Schwarber with that grand slam. And they were able to respond back after Phillips got rocked in that first inning. So it's good to finally see a little bit of offense, but they can't stop here, of course, and I'm not as impressed until I see this repeated. So stay safe, Brodes, and try not to pop a blood vessel.
No promises. No promises on the blood vessels. I need to see more as well. I also, though, have to note that this week, if they go 5-1 after Kyle's big homer, does it feel different than if they went 5-1 without that particular grand slam happening? Yeah, probably. The reason I bring that up is because the competition level is hard to see what it is and have that sway me. At the same time, though, in baseball, if you show me something significant over 10 games, no matter who your opponent is, if you go 8-2 and the baseball looks crisp and you're playing a good brand again, more times than not, the lack of competition loses context, and it's just about you're playing better over a longer period of time. So maybe that does sway me. And the Kyle Schwarber Grand Salami matters. We needed something. That was something. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'd feel by the end of this 4-game series against Washington if they swept them in all 4 and finished 5-1. I think I'd be intrigued because the caller just brought up he has to see it repeated until he's impressed, and I agree. But will the lack of competition sway me? Or will the continuity of the good baseball win out in the battle of emotions? It's a great question. I guess time will tell. Well, they have to go 5-1 first. If they go 4-2, if they go 3-3, anything worse, if they get swept, I haven't brought that up. No, that one doesn't count. I might even edit that out. All right, everybody. Just kidding. What's going on? We're going to end this. I'm all flustered. Goodbye. Phillies won. Thank you. We needed that. You're the best in the world. I'll talk to you all on the next one. Peace.